Welcome back to 3 lessons I've learned from 3 mistakes I've made. If you're unfamiliar with this concept and this little series that I do on my channel, then I'll briefly explain it to you here now. What I do is I go through 3 mistakes which I've personally made in my life, and then I explain how I made the mistake, and I also explain the lesson which I've learned from said mistake, which has led me to become a better person. You know, I feel like it takes a strong person to learn from your own mistakes, but it takes an even stronger one to learn from other people's as well. So if you feel like you take any advice from this and some of my mistakes resonate with you, feel free to take the advice I give, and hopefully you can avoid making the initial mistake in the first place. But yeah, I won't waste any more of your time. I'll get straight into the first lesson. So the first lesson is anything you enjoy doing, you must restrict. Now, I don't mean restrict in the sense that you should just stop doing it completely. No, you must not stop doing that. I mean restrict in the sense that you should restrict how often or for how long you do it. So let's say you enjoy gaming. I know I've made videos in the past about how games rot in your mind, and I feel like my opinion has changed on certain subjects like this. My belief has changed to what I'm about to explain now. You should restrict in the sense of how long you do it and when you choose to do it. So going back to what I said, let's say you enjoy gaming. You know, let's say you're a big gamer. I'm a big gamer. I play games fairly often. You should use it as a sort of reward instead of an indulgence, if you know what I mean. So let's say you start your day off and you get everything done before you'll start gaming at the start in your day, and then you reward yourself by gaming at the end of the day, not too late into the night, you know, not to the point it affects your sleep, but you should still do it. And this system allows you to actually stay more productive. Now you'll probably be thinking, oh, how's gaming gonna make me more productive? Surely it's just a waste of time. Yeah, okay, it's only a waste of time if you're wasting your time doing it, if you're not doing anything else productive in your day. It doesn't become a waste of time when you use it as a reward and a fun hobby to do when you've already finished everything else in your day that you needed to do. Let's say you needed to go to the gym, you needed to train, you needed to do some work, you needed to do some emails, you had some studying to do, you had this, editing, whatever. Everything you need to do it prior to your favorite hobby. I'm just using gaming as an example here, but it applies to whatever hobby you have that you really enjoy. All right, so you do that first. Get everything done at the start of your day, plan everything out. And in the back of your mind, you'll be thinking, oh, okay, so once I finish this, I'm one step closer to booting up my PS5 and one step closer to doing this. And it actually also acts as a little short-term motivation for you before you actually start to do the gaming. Because every single thing you do productively, like, you know, all the work you start doing, it becomes easier because you know that once you finished it all, you get to hop on the game for a bit and enjoy yourself. So not only is it fun to do in the moment while you're playing it, it's also pretty motivating. So yeah, whatever you enjoy, you must restrict. Don't do it in excess, right? Don't play ridiculously long until it affects your sleep and you know you start getting out of a schedule and routine. That really isn't ideal. You still want to maintain a healthy pattern and everything, but yeah, you must restrict it. You shouldn't do it in excess. Get everything you need to do done first, and honestly, you'll enjoy your time much more knowing that you've earned it as well. Knowing that you're hopping on it after doing everything you need to do, after doing all your work and everything, it actually feels so much better to kick back because you've achieved something and here is your reward. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the first lesson. The next lesson is to not underestimate how much you can get done in longer periods of time. To break this down a bit more, This I kind of realized in regards to like fitness and bodybuilding. This is where I kind of really came to this realization. But essentially what I mean is, I saw this like quote this online from this video. This guy, he said something along the lines of like, most people underestimate how much they can get done in a year and overestimate how much they can get done in a week or a month, so something along the lines of that. And this directly applies to building muscle, like cutting, you know, dieting specifically. Obviously it applies to other fields of things as well. If you find anything like relevant, which this would apply to as well, then you can use the same thinking here. It's true, you definitely underestimate how much you can get done in like a week or like a month's time, as opposed to like a day or a day after. Let's say you started a cut and you drop your calories and you're 3 days in and you don't see any progress. That might demotivate you a bit, but you're 3 days into your cut. You're not going to see any progress realistically until a couple of weeks in. And even at that point, you probably won't see nearly as much visual progress as you would when you're 2 months in, 3 months in, even 4. How deep you want to go into your cut is up to you, but you should think in weeks, not days. Think about how much you can get done a week from now if you do whatever it is daily, rather than thinking how much you can get done at doing it for a day or doing it for a couple of days. Because the measure of how much you can get done really applies through weeks and monthly and yearly intervals, because daily changes, we can't really see them nearly as much as we can like a monthly or a yearly thing. That's why body transformations, for example, you never see a body transformation that's like a guy who's flipping 100 kilo and then 2 days later he's like 50. Obviously that would be completely ridiculous, but you know, it's just an example that you don't see things like that. You see it in years and months. It doesn't happen overnight. Overnight success is not a thing. I'm sure you've heard this before. It really isn't. You should expect things in years, months, and that'll probably be a lot better for your mindset as well, because you'll learn patience, you'll learn to delay gratification, you'll learn to enjoy the process more, and you'll probably build a lot more trust within yourself as well. Because even if you feel like your progress is kind of going up and down, it's not really looking like you're making progress, maybe sometimes it looks like you're losing progress, you'll think to yourself, oh, okay, what, a month from now I keep doing what I'm doing, I'll have no excuse but to tell myself that I have made progress, because then you'll be able to visually see, whether it's a cutting phase or a bulking phase, you'll be able to visually see that you've made progress, because you've started thinking in months and not daily intervals. So yeah, I don't really think there's much else I can really say about this, but it's a great practice, building patience, and you know, it definitely directly applies to bodybuilding, but any endeavor really, you should not expect it to come a day or two from now. You should think in wider long-term intervals, whether it be you're trying to educate yourself, studying, stuff like this. You should start earlier, build up that knowledge, and who knows, a month, maybe even a year from now, maybe it won't take as much time as you think as well. That could also be a thing. Don't underestimate how much you can get done a year from now. Ooh. My third and final lesson is to keep promises to yourself. Very simple one. I've probably touched upon this subject before. I mean, I definitely have. I'm 100% sure I've said this before. I definitely think it's something very important to reiterate, and it's definitely something you've probably heard before, I imagine. I really can't stress its importance enough. You can't trust your own word, how can you expect other people to trust yours? I think keeping promises to yourself and holding yourself accountable is probably the only and best way to stay consistent, because your word to yourself means the most. That's when you feel the most guilty as well, when you say you're going to do something and you don't do it. Earlier, like today, before I started filming this video, about 10-15 minutes ago, I said, all right, I'm going to finish my food, I'm going to watch this video, and then I'm going to come upstairs and record. In the back of my mind, I was like, oh, maybe one more video. I was kind of procrastinating a little bit. I'll be honest, I'm human. Sometimes I don't stick to my word, but I am proud to say 90% of the time, I treat my own word as like my own personal Bible or gospel, so to speak. It is authority to me. My own word is my highest authority. It's essentially what I say I'm gonna do, I will do. And I'll make sure that I do it because I said I would. Whenever you don't stick to your own word as well, the guilt you feel afterwards really takes a toll on you, because you distrust yourself a little bit. Now, let's say you're gonna stick to your diet during your cut, and then you end up having a cheat meal and then another one, and it all kind of spirals downwards. That guilt will really rile you up. It'll really take a toll on you. Not as much because you've cheated on your diet. I think more so it would be because you didn't stick to your word. I think that's where most of the guilt honestly comes from. Like, I think on my cut I had one major cheat meal, but that was kind of a controlled one. I knew I was gonna do it, but towards the end of my cut, I kind of got sick of my calorie deficit, and I just decided to have a bit of a binge day, which wasn't really controlled. It was kind of a bit spontaneous. And yeah, the next day I did feel guilty, but in retrospect, I felt guilty because I didn't stick to my word. I think obviously there was a bit of guilt because I kind of cheated on my diet, but I didn't really see I didn't see much physical change whatsoever, to be honest. So the guilt probably wouldn't have been derived from my diet change. It probably more so was from me not sticking to my word and me kind of cheating myself because I said I was going to stick to this and I didn't. So you really should stick to your own word. Your own word is and should be the most authority to you. And you kind of teach yourself and drum it into your mind that whatever you say you're going to do, you will do. You'll continue to do what you say you're going to do. If you know what I'm going to mean. If you know what I mean. The more momentum you build in doing things, the more you do something, the harder it is for you to stop doing it, because you've built that momentum, because you keep doing it and doing it and doing it. So continue to stick to your word, and then it'll be harder to not stick to it. That's the third and final lesson. Keep promises to yourself. That is all from me today. Again, any of this resonates with you, take the advice, run with it, and hopefully you avoid making the initial mistake in the first place. I've been Cyrus. Subscribe if you're new, strive for greatness, and don't be a vape puffing nerd.